They chuckled at my rusty old Ford when I pulled into the driveway of our family home in Greenwich, Connecticut. My brother's gleaming BMW and sister's shiny Audi parked like trophies beside it. But an hour later, when the Bentley Continental whispered up the gravel path and my chauffeur swung open the door for me, their smirks vanished like smoke. They'd pegged me as the family screw-up, scraping by on freelance gigs. Little did they know I'd just inked a deal selling my tech startup for $60 million. After a decade of letting them think I was drowning in debt, I was ready to drop the act. My name is Emily Harper, and for the last 10 years, I've been the black sheep in the Harper clan, or so they thought. At 35, I'm the middle kid who never fit the mold. My older brother, Jack, 43 and always buttoned up in his Brooks Brothers suits, heads up the Northeast Division for a big Wall Street firm. My younger sister, Sophie, 31 and perpetually polished for her social media feeds, married into old money from the Vanderbilt descendants circle 5 years back. And me? The one who bolted from our upscale suburb with $500 in my pocket and dreams my folks dismissed as pie-in-the-sky nonsense. The text from Jack hit my phone on a crisp Monday morning while I was in my penthouse overlooking the Hudson, sifting through investor reports. Family powwow this weekend. Gotta hash out mom and dad's long-term care. Show up, even in pixels. His bossy vibe seeped through, the same one he'd used when I was 14 and he was 22, lecturing me on why I'd never cut it in debate club. I set down my espresso and glanced around my space, floor-to-ceiling views of the city skyline. Sleek mid-century modern pieces that cost a fortune. And a Rothko original I'd snagged after my first big funding round. None of them had ever set foot here. They figured I was holed up in a dingy walk-up in Jersey City, hustling odd jobs in that app thing I was always tinkering with. The joke was on them. While Jack flaunted his 7-figure bonuses and Sophie paraded her hubby's trust fund lifestyle, I'd quietly built an empire worth triple their combined assets. My startup, an AI platform that optimized digital marketing for mid-sized brands, had flipped the script on how companies targeted consumers. Started in a co-working space with ramen-fueled nights. It exploded 8 months ago, when Vertex Tech swooped in with a $60 million buyout. I signed on the dotted line and kept my mouth shut to the family. Your sister buzzed in, my assistant, Lena said, poking her head into my home office. Wanted to confirm you're coming and offered to Venmo you for tolls. I had to stifle a laugh. Tell her I got it covered. Lena eyed me, one brow arched. Still playing the long game. Huh, the game, that's what she called my 10-year masquerade. Letting them think I was one bad month from eviction. It began innocently enough after my first 2 ventures tanked. Their we knew it attitudes hit like salt in a wound. So when the third one took off, I just omitted it. Over time, it morphed into armor, shielding me from their judgments. One more round, I muttered, spinning back to my screen. But this could be the finale. Sophie's follow-up text pinged, just checking on Saturday. If you need an outfit, I've got some hand-me-downs from last season that could work. Hubby and I can scoop you if that clunker's acting up. Last season's cast-offs, the sting wrapped in a smiley emoji. Sophie's specialty, help that highlighted how low she thought I'd sunk. She'd honed it watching Mom, mastering the art of superiority disguised as sisterly concern. I fired back. Appreciate it. I'll handle. The Harper family manor sprawled across 10 acres of rolling hills. A Georgian-style beast my parents scooped up after Jack's first fat paycheck. It screamed, we've arrived, every gathering a showcase of triumphs. Jack's deals. Sophie's glamorous life. And the elephant in the room, when would Emily get her act together and snag a real job? They had no clue I could snap up a dozen places like this without batting an eye. That my stocks alone churned out more than Jack's salary. that I'd anonymously bankrolled scholarships at our old prep school and rebuilt the tech lab at the community college where I'd learned to code. The summit was in 3 days, all about Mom's creeping Alzheimer's and Dad's worsening arthritis. I could predict the script, Jack with his spreadsheets on assisted living spots, Sophie dabbing fake tears about only the finest, and both pivoting to me with those pitying glances, and swearing any crumbs I tossed in would count. They didn't know I'd vetted top-tier facilities myself. Had my attorney craft a trust to cover every dime. They didn't know squat. But maybe it was time. High school had wired us this way. Jack, the star quarterback and valedictorian, bound for Harvard. Sophie, prom queen and drama club darling, dating heirs from the right zip codes. Me, the oddball glued to her laptop, launching a freelance coding gig at 16 instead of chasing sorority dreams. Get real. Emily, Mom had sighed when I ditched their pre-med plan for NYU. Not everyone's cut out to be the next Elon Musk. Dad, the peacemaker, chimed in. She's got a point. Stability matters, benefits. Retirement. This entrepreneur stuff's for kids with safety nets. The kicker? I built my own net after crashing twice. First flop, a social app that fizzled after seed money vanished. Thanksgiving that year. Jack carved the turkey while smirking. Hate to say it. But, second, an e-commerce tool crushed by giants. Christmas gift from Sophie? A voucher for career coaching. With a pat like I was a sad rescue pup. But the third? Gold. I spotted the gap, brands wasting ad bucks on guesswork. My AI crunched data like magic, turning chaos into conversions. 2 years in. 500 clients. 5 years. 5,000. By year 7. Vertex knocked. Signing day in my lawyer's Midtown tower. Staring at numbers that screamed, "You did it," my thumb hovered over Mom's contact. Then I flashed back to our last dinner, Jack droning about his Hamptons upgrade, Sophie flashing pics from Aspen. Bill time? They eyed me like a charity case. We got this. Jack said, whipping out his Amex. When you land steady, you can spot us. I let him. In my thrift store dress I saved for these charades, smiling through gritted teeth. By then, the secret was my shield, a test of their true colors under the concern. My financial advisor called me nuts. You're living like a broke grad student when you're sitting on 8 figures. But he missed the point. The modest Jersey flat I rented actually owned via LLC. The '08 Ford the first drove to family gigs, my Porsche tucked away. The curated image of struggle. It was my experiment. Would they ever see beyond the label? Ever probe my world instead of assuming I needed saving? 10 years later. Answer, nope. Lena once tallied it, over 300 emails. Texts. Chats where Jack pushed respectable jobs. Sophie suggested starter roles at her in-laws' firm. Parents nudged grad school. Never once, hey, how's your business really going? The trust for Mom and Dad hummed along. Managed by top fiduciaries. The spot I'd picked via Shell Corp was elite, with A-list wait lists. They'd get concierge care, specialists, gourmet meals tailored to Dad's heart issues and Mom's finicky palate. But to them, I was still Emily the dreamer. The project. The one who'd beg for scraps in this care chat. This weekend, the facade might crumble. Or not. Maybe I'd endure more digs. More help. But a shift brewed inside me like storm clouds gathering. At 35, hiding my shine felt like chains. Exhaustion from being invisible to my own blood. Whatever snapped. It'd be epic, my silence or their delusions. The morning of the showdown. I stood in my walk-in. Fingers grazing Armani suits and Louboutins untouched by family eyes. Instead, I grabbed the Emily uniform, faded Gap jeans, a threadbare hoodie, Scuffed sneakers from Target. Messy ponytail. No makeup, just the weary freelancer they expected. Limo's downstairs, Lena said, handing me a latte. Bentley today? I shook my head. Scrap that. I'm renting a beater. Her jaw dropped. A what? Why torture yourself? Fair point. I could roll up in style. Flash the success. But no one last glimpse of their raw selves. Thinking I brought nothing to the table. The drive from LaGuardia to Greenwich dragged in Saturday snarls. The rental, a 10 Chevy with a suspicious rattle and fast food stench, fit the bill. I'd flashed my black card at the counter, insisting on their junkiest ride. Stopped at a gas station. Caught my reflection, haggard. Defeated. Not the woman who'd graced TechCrunch's 30 Under 30 last year. Incognito with a stock photo to dodge family radar. Text from Jack, ETA? Mom's whipping up your fave grilled cheese. Remembers how you lived on M in college when cash was tight. Grilled cheese, my kid comfort food. These days? Caviar at Per Se, where the sommelier knew my vintage prefs. But in their heads, I was stuck, the broke undergrad. The flop artist. The needy sibling. 30 minutes. T-checks mom. Truth? Self-sufficient since 23. Never took their bailout offers laced with I told you so. Ramens? Yeah. But my grind. My wins. The Chevy coughed into the driveway. Jack's BMW sparkled. Sophie's Audi gleamed. Mine looked like the help's wheels perfect. Toad in hand. I inhaled deep. Inside, burner phone with Lena on speed dial. One word. And the Bentley rolls in from a nearby lot. But first, let the theater unfold. See their blueprint for handling the poor sister in the care debate. Remember every slight. So when I unveiled, zero regrets. Stepped out. Doors swung wide. Jack strode over in his J.Crew casuals, eyeing the Chevy with a wince. Let me grab your bag. That's it? Car on the fritz again? I know a dealer could hook you up with a reliable Subaru lease. I'm good, I muttered, clutching the tote. He clapped my shoulder like consoling a kid. Sounds like it's dying. Come on. Folks are waiting. And hey, don't sweat the care stuff, we'll sort it. The foyer hit with mom's potpourri and grilled cheese scent. Unchanged since forever. Photos line the walls, Jack's Harvard degree front and center. Sophie's lavish wedding portrait dominating. My community college cert shoved in a corner. Emily's here, Jack boomed like announcing a delivery. Mom bustled from the kitchen. Apron on. Scanning my getup with worry. Honey, you look exhausted. Eating okay? I'm fine. Mom. Probably ramen diets again, Sophie chimed from the den. Gliding in with a mimosa at 11 a.m. Yoga pants screaming luxury. Self-care's key, you gotta prioritize. She air-kissed. Slipping me a Starbucks card. $300. Like aid for the destitute. Sophie. No pride. Sis. We get it, tough economy for freelancers. Dad piped from his armchair. Paper in lap, she's in tech. Right? Apps or something. Actually. AI marketing, but Jack steamrolled, speaking of. Chatted with my buddy in HR at a startup. Entry-level support role. $45K start. Benefits after probation. So kind. Jack, mom glowed. Isn't it? Emily? I nodded, pocketing the card beside my phone, which lit with a VC update, portfolio up 25%. Lunchtime, mom herded us to the table. Fine china out for serious talks. My chair wobbled as always, unfixed. Unimportant. Mom piled my plate high, like feeding a stray. Jack cleared his throat. Flashing phone pics. Check the new SUV, fully loaded. Seats 8. Oohs and ahs circled. To me, Maybe join a ride someday. Once you get PTO from a steady gig. Generous, I deadpanned. Forking cheese that tasted like stale memories. So, Sophie set her fork precisely. Mom and Dad's care? Air thickened. Mom gripped Dad's hand. We've scoped places, Jack said. Unfolding a binder. Evergreen lodged solid. Not fancy. With savings plus our input. Doable. I knew Evergreen, institutional. Clean but soulless. Other options? Top spots? Waitlists forever. 12K monthly min, Sophie scoffed like schooling a naive kid. 20K for elites. Jack, we can swing 7K between us. Parents' nest egg adds 4K, needs 1K more for Evergreen. Eyes on me. The pitch, we know it's rough. Mom rushed. No pressure. Jack, thought maybe you handle visits. Errands, your schedule's flexible. Sophie, saves you stretching thin. Patronizing perfection. They fund. I fetch. Almost hilarious. Phone buzzed. Lena's code. Eagle. Bentley 10 minutes out. Actually, I rose. Need air. Heavy stuff. Of course, Mom soothed. Overwhelming when struggling. At the window. Spotting silver through trees. Let's crunch numbers again. What exactly can I swing? Jack spread sheets. Smug as a lawyer. Evergreen, 12K/month for suite with basics. Parents 250K savings. House worth 700K if sold. Sell the house. Mom quavered. Option, Sophie cooed. My father-in-law knows buyers. Jack, I commit 4K, tight with SUV payments. Kids' schools. Sophie, we do 3K. Delaying our Nantucket Reno. Expectant stares. Poor sis tallying pennies. What about Willow Creek? Top memory unit. Jack guffawed. 25K/month? Spa level. Waitlist years and less connected. I knew 4 board members, 1 my banker. Sweet dream, Mom patted. Evergreen's fine, adequate. Adequate. The word burned. Phone, 2 minutes. No shame admitting limits, Jack gentled. Choices, I picked security. Sophie stability via marriage, I have a career. Sophie snapped. Point, you chased rainbows. Fine. But reality bites. Dad, no hidden debts. We worried your look. Car. None true except strategic loans. Through glass. Bentley Easton. Phone call work. Saturday emergency? Jack snorted. Doorbell chimed. Froze them. I answered, Reginald. My driver. Cap tucked. Voice carrying, MS. Harper. Apologies for traffic. What the? Jack behind. Family clustered. Gaping at the Bentley. This is Reginald. My chauffeur. You're what? Mom whispered. Joke? Rented to impress. Sophie accused. If you're in debt, need to show something. About care. Reginald. Our tops. That's a Bentley, Jack stammered. $250,000 easy. 300K. This model. Coming. Dad, where? To see Mom and Dad's real home. Unless you like Evergreen's bleach vibe. Sophie's pallor, What mess? The only mess is your blind spots. You've looked down so long. Miss me soaring past. I strode out. Reginald holding the door. Slid into luxury. Waiting. Through tint, them frozen on porch. Join or I solo this. I'm ace at alone. Silence in the Bentley was tomb-like. Engine a purr. Family perch stiff. Jack fingering veneer. Sophie ogling star ceiling. Parents clasping hands like kids. Impossible, Jack croaked. You can't afford which flop. I'm mild. I've had hits. The app that bombed you wept on call. Told failure. You assumed tears. Cleared non-compete for real venture. Real? Sophie echoed. AI marketing via Inside AI. Revamped ad targeting. Forbes spotlighted stock pic. Low-key. Blank faces. Phone, Lena. Director prepped. 20 minutes. Reginald turned into resort gates, Willow Creek. Elegance etched. Senators retire here, Jack muttered. Buy-in millions. Director Elena Hayes waited, MS. Harper. Pleasure. Mr. and Mrs. Harper. Thrilled you're joining. Mistake, Dad said. None, Elena assured. Your daughter arranged. Halls gleamed, art. Blooms. Violin strains. Residence, ex-senator. Novelist. Judge Dad revered. Fees, Sophie choked. Covered eternally via trust. Corner suite, lake views. Parents' hues. Wedding pic. Dad's chair angled perfectly. How? Mom touched it. Teary. Planned 2 years since diagnoses. You knew. Dad shocked. Hired advocate Parkinson's. Alzheimer's hidden. Guilty nods. Top docs here, better than hospitals. Elena, neurologists. Therapists on site. This costs what I have. Jack flushed. How long rich while we pitted? Millionaire 7 years. 8 figures for. Buyout 6 months, $60 million. Sophie reeled. Hubby studying. 60? Jack cracked. Netted 42M post-tax. Plus assets. Patents. Properties. Dad week. Hudson penthouse. Vale Chalet. Cape Cod Reno. Provence Cottage Impulse. Jack slumped. Why hide when we offered jobs? Clothes. When you preached realism. Gift cards. Pity. Helped. Sophie cried. Felt superior. Difference. Elena dipped. Privacy. Alone. Mom, we failed, saw expectations. Not you. Wanted to. Easier with screw-up, sis. Unfair, Jack. Is? Quick, my firm's function? Staff count? Problem solved. Quiet. 10 years job pushes. No ask about mine. Blind dates. No check if dating. Assumed broke. No query. Revenge. Sophie spat. Love. Despite digs. Insured care. Turn to leave. Reginald drives back. Suite ready anytime. Dad, car. Money, not what counts. Missed knowing you, lost forever. His words pierced. But wounds deep. Decades, slights, no quick fix. Real me? Endured dinners of your plans. Built empire amid mockery. Paid your mortgage anonymously 2 years back, check. Forgiven by bank? Me. Jack's phone out. Paling. Real me funded Sophie's son's Harvard aid, merit full ride. Didn't want debt from your yacht splurge. Jack's device dropped. Sophie. Hubby's firm near collapse in pandemic? Anonymous bailout? Me. Couldn't let crash. Even uninvited to tables. Sophie collapsed. Mask shattered. But realist, did while you ridiculed car. Clothes. Choices. Loved enough to aid unseen. Why? Jack broken. Love's unconditional. Respect? You lacked. Elena knocked. Board rep here for review. Board. Dad. Own 25% stake. Youngest ever, ensure care unbreakable. Shattered Jack. Bullied you lifelong. Yet funded my kid. He's innocent of your blinders. Texts me, helps AI tweaks. Pays as consultant. Thinks I'm mid-level. He raves about his mentor, smarter than me. Mom approached, forgive. Did years ago. But no reset to old. Means care secured. Dinners. But real me. See beyond 18-year-old label. Bentley yours. Sophie faint. One of few, prefer electric usually. Glanced watch, Audemars Piguet under cuff. Back to city, gala with senator at 8. Funding urban tech hubs. Moved out. Paused. Sweet yours. Elena has my line anything. See you. Mom. Easter next. Bringing chef, prime rib stellar. Jack. No airport pickup, own plane. Last glimpse, them in suite. Reconciling invented cis with real woman. Reginald, smooth. MS. Harper, beyond. Pulled away. Family glimpsed through glass. World cracking. Ride blurred suburbs. Unexpected void hit. Secret gone. Identity adrift. Phone exploded. Apologies. Please. Ignored. They'd waited me out. Penthouse lobby. Doorman deferred. Alone in space. No longer hideout. Lena waited. Wine ready. Spill. They know. Now what? Revenge done. Story ongoing. Revenge of saving two? Best kind, prove independence. Choose love. Phone rang. Nephew Tyler. Aunt Mom's meltdown says you're some tycoon I consult for. Hey. Kid. Truth hit. Pretending broke? Epic. You're my idol, built while they lectured. Upset? Nah, Batman vibes. Smiled. Breakfast tomorrow? Real me. Corner booth at my spot. Hell yes. Thanks for unknown stuff too. Hun. City lights winking. Buzzes from Jack. Sophie unread. Tomorrow, talks? Rebuilds? Or same with flipped power? Tonight. Maskless. No downplay. No bites. Victory odd, not shock. But truth owned. Dad's text, settled in Willow. Stunning. You're stunning. Blind fools. Sorry. Mom, framed your articles. Wall's honor, Miss Daughter. Try again. Jack, Tyler calls you Batman. I was Joker. Sorry. New chapter. Sophie, mocked thrift while faking luxury. You won. Teach sight. Wine raised a skyline to seeing family. Unscripted future. Success. Cash mine always. But truth? Finally free. Phone rang, group call. Declined. Texted, tomorrow. Tonight. Toasting decade free of your boxes. Digest truth. Powered off. Cranked indie tracks they hated. Dance solo. Not pitted flop. Not hidden mogul, just Emily. Self-bet winner.